Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. Those in the live stream got an early welcome because I forgot to listen for my producer. Anyway, whatever. We're all here now, right? Welcome, you guys. It is the 12th of October already. It's about 11 a.m. Pacific time. We're live. I'm so happy to be here. I want to let you know that we're over in the chat room. You can find it by heading over to 12radio.com and click on the chat button. Oh, and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat, or you are welcome to head over to the live stream. You can find that on YouTube or on Facebook under Katie Weaver Domestic Mystic. So easy enough to find. I'm looking at the chat in both places, so wherever you are commenting, I will see that. And I'm happy to be here. So, how's it going? First and foremost, you all are well, I hope. It's I think the energy as of late has been a little bit better. I don't know, maybe not for all of you. Yesterday was kind of a weird, nervous day. But I think overall, we've shedded some of the heaviness that we have been feeling. At least I hope that's true for everybody. But, it probably can't be true for everyone. We actually had a snowstorm last night and that put down about 12 inches of snow. So that sucks. The dogs don't know what to think. They're not happy. The pigs are beyond not happy. But I saved some pictures of our Halloween decor completely covered in snow that I'm going to share with you. They are 100% not happy. I was joking last night that the Halloween decor is very tired of being shown up by Christmas all the time, trying to compete with it. Seems like in the store, a lot of times they skip right over Halloween and jump right into Christmas, and now the snow is doing it too. Now, we haven't left the house today, but I have heard that the roads are pretty horrifying and that there were some bad wrecks this morning on the highway, which always happens when the first snow comes. It's like people totally forget how to drive in snow, which comes every year. However, do remember that I live in a college town that brings students in from all over the world. And we get these students here that have never driven on slick roads. And ay caramba, it becomes a dangerous place. You just totally avoid campus when it snows because not only do the students, they don't know how to drive, some of them, but they also don't recognize that you can't stop if they march right out in front of you in traffic. So I have a personal policy that I stay off campus when the roads are bad, but I put some pictures in the chat room, but I'll show them here in video too. So this is actually a dragon skeleton. You can see how high his head is piled with snow and his wings. Like, seriously, what the hell? And then here's a picture. This is Scott's one of his claims to fame this year. This is a skeleton that is eternally vomiting into this barrel. He's vomiting green slime. You sure can't see that right now because it's not running, because he's covered in snow. Can you imagine how pissed off he is? He's got to be chilled to the bone. I know. I am so funny. And this is just a picture of a whiskey barrel next to my house that we plant basil in, as well as this is a tree next to my house that is super weighed down. So we have to go out there and try and get the snow off of it, because when it snows like this way too early in the year, it's really, really damaging to the trees because they still have leaves on them and they're not ready for the snow weight. And already we have some pretty good broken poplar branches in the backyard that happened in the night. Our doghouse has a huge branch on it that must have come down in the night. So that's the worry. I mean, the snow will melt. This is just a flash in the pan. it just happens sometimes in October that we get a big snow, and it's supposed to be all gone in the next couple of days. And I would imagine it's already melting pretty good now. But yeah, worried about my trees. So once we're done with the show, I'm going to bundle up and go outside and take the broom or a rake or something and see if I can shake some of the snow off some of those heavier trees that look like they're distressed, like this one next to the house. That's not good. But, uh, wow. Quelly said that 3 of her children have never seen snow. Wow. That is awesome. You know what, though? I have to tell you, that doesn't surprise me too much because I know quite a few kids who have never seen the ocean. They've never been to the beach. They've never seen the ocean. Can you imagine that? I know a lot of you guys can't fathom that, but I know a lot of kids around here that have never seen the ocean. So I guess it's a trade off, huh? Yeah. Laurie said things are still pretty intense in her neck of the woods. Gotcha. Well, I wanted to bring you a bit of a show and tell. Oh, Tiffany said in the Southern California desert, the mountains got a little snow. Nice. Okay. Jump back into the other chat too. Lillian says that's gross, Scott. It's way gross when you see it running. And for some reason, the paint that goes in the water to make it green like that makes it foam up, and it just makes it even grosser. Just like way gross. Yeah. Okay. Well, I do have some show and tell. Hey, JR. I already put some pictures in the chat, but I want to show you guys a couple of skeletons that we've made. So they're made out of resin, of course. And this one has a head full of red roses and gold flake. Isn't that cool? They're huge. I'm just putting them on my altar. Oh, I was going to take some video of my altar to show you guys, and I forgot. I suck. Next time. I mean it. All right. And then Scott, not to be outdone by the one I made one too. And his is blue with silver flake and silver chameleon glitter that you probably can't see very well, and a dark blue rose in the head. Mine was like a ton of little roses. His is one giant rose, and I think it's so cool that I bought 2 more roses to do a couple more with the big roses in the top of them. So, anyway, love it, love it, love it. Isn't that fun? I love these. I also think these should be kept on everyone's mantle because they would be a hell of a weapon if you had a break in. I think if somebody hit you in the head with this, you might join them. We have a lot in our Halloween decor. We have a lot of the skeleton animals. Like I showed you the picture of the dragon, but we have 2 dogs that are life size like that and a brontosaurus. But yet last year, Matea found a littler one. It's like, maybe 6 inches tall. That's a pig, which, we just laughed and thought was funny since we have pigs. So last week I was sitting on the front steps, letting the little dogs play out front. And Fiona, our sow, she tried to get out front. And the pigs aren't allowed out front because the yard isn't fenced out front. And it's just not safe. And so, but they want to come out front really bad. It's like the forbidden fruit. Since you're not allowed to come out there, you really, really want to. And sometimes she'll do something like just shove past me or leap off the side of the step or do something dumb, because she really wants out. So anyway, I was sitting on the step and she was kind of pushing up behind me and acting like she was going to try and sneak out. So I picked up the pig skeleton and I turned around and I showed it to her. And I said, "Do you want this to be you?" And that's mean, but it was funny. And she turned and ran back in the house. And Scott thought I was the meanest person that has ever walked the earth. Yeah. And I thought it was funny as hell. But whatever. I just, I am mean. Apparently, I'm pretty mean. But I have to show you the other things we made. And please don't judge me. You might judge me. I am judging me. Okay. But I have to show you these. Okay. I already put a picture of them in the chat. But these are fairy skeletons. Can you believe that? Oh my god. I said I'm a little worried that that for sure the fairies are going to make me pay for this one. But aren't they perfect? Oh my god, so funny. Um yeah, one more. This one's my favorite. Okay, I cannot claim any I can't make any claims on this great idea. It came from someone on TikTok, and Scott actually made these, but I have a whole bunch more to make. I just haven't done it yet. And now, I was going to hang them in my trees, but now I don't know where I'm going to put them. But I have enough stuff to make like 12 of them, so it has to happen. But anyway, what do you think? Do you think that's a crime against humanity? Or a crime against the Fae, against the elemental world? I think it is kind of, but they're so cute. A little shocking. We had to go to Hobby Lobby to get the butterfly wings. And we have a personal creed against shopping at Hobby Lobby. We don't shop there because we don't think they're good people. But we occasionally they're the only craft store in town that will have the thing that you need. And so we had gone literally to every other store in town, and nobody had butterfly wings. So we had already bought the skeletons. We were good to go. And you won't get those at Hobby Lobby because they don't sell anything Halloween. They skip straight to Christmas. I think Halloween is like a demonic thing for them or something. But we found the wings we wanted at Hobby Lobby. And then we had dinner that night with my sisters. And I said we had to go to the store that must not be named today because we all boycott that store usually. And my sister Rhonda was like, "What? How could you? What? You went in there?" And I said, "Well, I mean, we needed butterflies because we're tearing the wings off to put them on skeletons to make fairies, and that just made it all funnier and a little bit more worth it." But anyway, so no matter if the snow is falling, Halloween is in full swing up in here, even if we are a little crazy. And, I guess it just is what it is. Oh, I pushed a button. Hold on. I got out of the chat on accident. Okay, here we go. I am back. Okay, yes. Sid said she thinks it would be even meaner to tell Fiona she would be turned into a ham for misbehaving. Anyway, yeah. So it made me wonder, who do you guys boycott? Do you boycott anybody? Is that just a me thing? I'm a Cancer, so money and where I spend my money is a big deal to me. And so I'm funny. I want to shop small business. I do try, though I order way too much on Amazon, but I try to get as much as I can these days on Etsy. It's surprising how much you can get on Etsy. But anyway, we boycott we boycott Hobby Lobby, we boycott Chick-fil-A, we boycott Papa John's, and we boycott Jimmy John's. Yep. And some local businesses just because we know them. And we're not fans of them. I don't know if you guys have been hearing, Idaho has been quite a shit show in the news lately. And a lot of it is because the lieutenant governor is this woman named Janice McGeehan. And Janice is this she's become the darling of the alt-right like white nationalists. and if you know anything about Idaho, we have plenty of that here. And so every time the mayor or the governor goes out of town, she starts just like recklessly passing shit just, to play to her base. She thinks it's funny. It gets her all of this attention. And it's honestly just so embarrassing. So they ended up having a Twitter war last week while Janice was signing executive orders banning this and that. And the governor is posting on Twitter. She has no power to do these things. And as soon as I come home, they'll be repealed. And oh my God, what a big mess. It was mostly COVID related, but she's done other things in the past. But we were already in the news quite a bit for our COVID numbers and the fact that we were the first state in the nation to end up in critical care mode in our hospitals. Now, then we were in the news because of our snow, and we continue to be in the news because of the Daybell case. I want you to know that Idaho is more than white nationalists and crazy people. It is, I promise. We also have mountains. I know. She is dreadful. Oh, Lillian, I'm so embarrassed by her. Oh, JR said they boycott the local Chinese restaurant because they have been rude to her family and friends. We have potatoes. You're right. I mean, that is our true claim to fame. We have the most excellent of potatoes, and it has been potato harvest. And hello, I sure hope the farmers got their spuds out of the ground before a foot of snow just fell on them. I think most people are pretty much done. Harvest actually came a little bit early this year because we had such a hot summer. So I haven't heard much this morning about farmers not being done, but I sure hope they are, because if not, they might still be able to get them. It didn't actually get that cold, and so not cold enough for the potatoes to freeze in the ground. And this snow should melt, so it might slow down their harvest operation by a week or so, and it might create more rotten potatoes than had we not had this storm. But I don't know. This kind of stuff is not good for farmers, that's for sure. Anyway, that's what's going on. And I wanted to apologize for not being here last week. I wasn't here last week because the Daybell case that Christy and I have been covering so prolifically on True Crime Paranormal had a whole day of court that we were live streaming and commentating on. And so I ended up missing. And then today, happening in 12 minutes, there is a live stream uh, press conference with the Teton County coroner. He is going to be talking about the findings of the cause of death for Gabby Petito. And I told Christy, I can't do the live stream because I have my show. I missed it last week. I cannot do that again. I just can't do it. And it turned out, she said, well, I had to miss my massage last week because of the Daybell case, and I cannot miss that again. I can't do that to my therapist. So we just agreed that we're not going to live stream that, but we will do a stream a little bit later and talk about what their findings were. So if you're following that case and you're wondering what we're doing with that, that's what we are doing, because the timing just didn't work out for us today to live stream it, but we'll still share it. That's going to be a very interesting conversation, I think. Okay. What's wrong with Papa John's and Jimmy John's? Papa John's has been really homophobic in the past. Jimmy John's owner is a big game hunter that I think is gross and predatory. And yeah, and I don't want my money to go to kill things like Cecil the lion, or elephants, or black giraffes, or, well, any of that. So that's why on that front. Yep. Sid says, I do my best to boycott businesses, but in a small town it can be challenging with limited shopping options. Oh, dude, I totally hear that. The only big box store we have in our town is Walmart. And I wouldn't care if I never stepped foot in another Walmart again in my whole life. But I don't have a choice. I just don't. So Walmart it is. I know, Jade. I could boycott everybody for some reason, probably, and it probably doesn't. They probably don't miss my $40, but but it is just I don't know. I think it's important. I think to just know where your money goes, right? Right. I mean, I won't invest in certain companies either for the same reason, but anyway, blah blah blah. That's not as fun as other things we could be doing. Let's take a look at Luminous actually. And to be clear, I don't care who you guys boycott or who you don't. Honestly, I don't. I just think it's interesting to pay attention to the companies that we support and, whether they really support our values or our beliefs and act accordingly. I don't care if my beliefs are in, opposition to yours or, that doesn't matter to me. I mean, maybe you boycott Target because they support letting anyone use their bathrooms or whatever, I mean, that's your belief versus mine. It's one of the reasons I do support Target because they are great that way. But and they pay for college for their employees. But maybe you don't, and maybe that's why, and that's okay. Like I'm not here to fight you against, what you do or don't do. But I think it is important for us as consumers to control the market a little more by paying attention to the companies that we do business with. That's all. I know a lot of you, and probably me included, would like to not do business so much with Amazon these days, and yet that happens more than I even want to admit because it's what we have. Yeah, boo. Anyway, let's talk about something funner. Let's move on to Luminous. So I'm putting a link in the chat room, and you guys can. We do vote with our dollars. I agree, Jane. Totally. You guys can look at it there. I'm going to also share it here to the video stream, but you can also find it over on my website, katie-weaver.com, under the Luminous Magazine button. Okay. All right. So here we go. So I love this cover. I have to admit that the cover last week and this week are covers that I used last year too, but I love them. And they're perfect for Halloween. So how could I not, right? This has ravens, it has bats, it has candles and a full moon. I mean, come on, man. It's got the whole package. All right, the note from me. I called the magazine this week the Hands-On Magic Edition because this is a really good week to do some hands-on magic, right? To put your hands on something, to do cards, do crystals, do herbs, do oils, do a spell, do candles, do whatever feels good to you. But there's a lot of magic in the air right now. And it makes sense to me that maybe this week you learn something new or try something new. Recently, I suggested to one of you to put someone in the freezer. And you'd never heard of that before. I can't remember who it was, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, but that's a little spell that you can do to ice someone out, right? So maybe this is someone that you've broken up with that you want some distance from. Maybe it's a friendship you have ended and want some distance from, or a boss. But you can take their name or a picture of them and put a little water in a Ziploc bag and put them in it and put them in the freezer. And that really slows down the heat, the energy, the vitriol from someone towards you. It works really well. But when I suggested it recently to someone and they'd never heard of it, I was kind of surprised and realized I have a lot of these things in my head that I do try to remember to share, but obviously it doesn't always happen. So, yeah. I mean, I would think at least half of you would have, your mother-in-law or somebody in the freezer. But that's so mean. Mother-in-laws probably don't deserve that. Most of them, mine does. But, most of them, right? I kid. I haven't even seen my mother-in-law in almost 10 years. I'm not picking on her. I don't even know. I don't even know her, to be honest. But anyway, so there's one little hands-on magic spell you could do. But think about what you want to learn or what you want to do. The internet is your friend, right? Just keep your intentions high. Keep your intentions high. Don't intend injury to other people. Make it about you. So, like with the freezing, you're not intending to freeze them to death. You are intending to freeze their energy towards you. That's all. Stay in the right energy for it. Okay. In my musings, I decided to give you a gift. This is a class that I taught on One to Academy a couple of years ago. This is 4 spreads to change your life. I love this class. It's a ton of fun, and if you go to the link on this one, and I think you can get the link if you just click share. No, maybe not. I don't know how you do that. Oh yeah, copy link right here. Then you can go to the whole video so you can see it on your bigger screen. And in the information, the show information, there is a link there, a Dropbox link that you can follow to download all of the spreads so that you can print them or at least have them on your computer so that you have them if you want them. But anyway, I thought that if I'm going to challenge you to do some magic this week, I ought to probably help you a little bit. So here you go. This is my gift to you. So it's 4 different spreads and they're awesome. This is a really fun one. Okay. Bitch scopes. Have you guys noticed that Kelly rebranded? She did. Bitch splaining is no longer bitch splaining. It is called Wildish with Kelly McLean. Same amazing Kelly with a little different look. I love it. I loved it that way too. So, I just love Kelly. So whatever she does, I'm all about. All right. Let's look at one of her scopes this week. Her scopes this week, she said, were geared towards giving you something to look forward to because she feels like we are kind of in a place right now where you might need something to look forward to. This week is kind of mundane. So I loved this. So let's look at who do I say we never read? Oh, let's look at Capricorn. Are you feeling sappy, Cappy? Maybe reflecting on your childhood or thinking about relatives that have passed? Well, that wistful nostalgia is actually working in your favor. There is a deep healing happening that requires little to no effort from you. I don't say this lightly, but the world will be your oyster. All you have to do is be yourself and trust that when Saturn kicks your ass and you do the work, you get rewarded. That's what this is. Well, okay then. Who doesn't want to be a Capricorn right now? That's awesome. So be sure that you read your scope. Your boss's scope, your kid's scope, your dog's scope, anyone that you need to have a deeper understanding of. Look at their scope. It makes a difference. And otherwise, yeah, you can find Kelly Scopes on her website. You can find them over at One to Listen, or of course, you can find them right here. Okay, my tip of the week this week is my Samhain bath potion. Again, remember, we're all about hands on magic this week, so I'm trying to help you, give you some ideas. Did you ever think that just making a bath salt could be a potion? It most certainly can. Combine sea salt, frankincense, clary sage, lemongrass, and vanilla essential oils. If you don't have vanilla essential oils, vanilla absolute, like pure vanilla, is fine. Combine them for a perfectly magical bath. Soak before bed to enhance dreams and astral travel. Just perfect. Okay. All right. Christie's oracle card reading for us for the week is Joy. And she has a video for you explaining what that card means and how you can tap into it to help raise your joy quotient this week. So I'll let you guys go through that one on your own. And then Melissa brings her postcard to us this week. When your book becomes a reality. And her second book is well underway. All right, over at True Crime Paranormal, we have a couple of things going on this week of interest. Yesterday, we released the case of Chelsea Poorman. Chelsea Poorman was a girl from Vancouver that this is a missing and murdered Indigenous women case because yesterday, of course, was Indigenous Peoples Day. And Chelsea Poorman disappeared from Vancouver a little over a year ago, and her family's really struggled to get any action on her case from law enforcement. And so, anyway, it's well worth watching and getting a sense of what's happening with that. And if you live in Vancouver, this is an important case for you to know about to continue to put pressure on law enforcement to give a damn about it. And then we have Karen Bodine, a case that can be solved. If you are from Washington, you may have heard about Karen Bodine. She died in 2007 outside of Olympia, Washington. And her case, too, struggled to get the right attention or steam. The reason Karen's case had such a tough time was because she was billed as a transient drug addict. And that's a nail in the coffin of a case because law enforcement, the press, people just don't give those cases the attention that they need. The truth is that Karen was not a transient. She also was not a drug addict. She had been in the past. She was a mother of three that was murdered and shoved into a landfill. And she deserved justice, and she still does. And anyway, both of these cases, I feel like this week, really need a signal boost. One of the jobs that Christy and I have at True Crime Paranormal is putting a boost on cases so that they get more attention, to help other podcasters do them too, to help bigger podcasters find them, and help them be seen. We did a case last year about something that happened in Rexburg. You guys might have remembered it. It was about the Sakota women who died in their home, and the husband just kept living there. The daughter died first, and mom and dad just kept living there with her dead body in the bedroom. And then mom died, and he moved her body in next to the daughter a couple years later and continued to live there for about 3 years with their bodies in the house. And it was a crazy, awful, insane case. And that case, we were the first podcasters to do it. Nobody had done it before us. Nobody even knew about it except for us because it happened here. And since then, it has been nationally syndicated. And I'm not saying it's because we did it, but I'm kind of saying it's because we did it. We actually have a lot of traction happening right now at True Crime Paranormal. We just got our first sponsorship. We can't talk about it yet, but I will tell you about it soon. And all I will tell you is you're going to laugh your ass off about it. I can't quit laughing about it, but it's a sponsorship. And we also just picked up a paid spot on a new social media app. It's kind of like TikTok, but there's no video, it's only voice. So it's kind of like TikTok for podcasts. And they hired us to come on and do a certain amount of time on there every week to help, create more content. So that will be starting shortly too. So it's exciting. Lots of really good things happening for us over there, and also in our contributions to the true crime world. So we're excited about it. Yeah, it pays off. It's been a lot of hard work and honestly, quite a lot of heartache. These cases are, sometimes they're really tough, but it's worth it. There's a very good, there are very good reasons for it, right? Okay. Anita and the Masters. Anita brings us Mother Mary this week. We have Celestial Wisdom with Jamie Dawn. Finalizing the Past for Lasting Results. Awesome, awesome video. Always great guidance from her. And that's it. So hopefully you'll find something in Luminous that is a gem for you this week. And I'm just happy to be able to bring it to you guys. And as always, I'm so appreciative of the people who contribute to Luminous. I couldn't do it without them. There's no way I could put together that much content by myself, you know, mostly because of True Crime Paranormal. Yep. Oh, Laurie said, I've been using the freezer spell for years. Always works. Removes them from my life quite efficiently. It does work. I agree. JR wanted to know, how long do you keep them in the freezer? And Lillian responded in caps, forever. Yeah, forever, or for as long as you feel like you need to keep that distance or separation going. Yeah, I know. That's kind of a funny one. It is, but it does work. I had a client years ago who was in a bad custody situation, and she had taken poppets. You know what poppets are? They're kind of like they're a doll, basically, like a little doll that you could, attribute to someone. So she had taken poppets of her ex-husband and his parents. And I don't know what kind of spell she did, not advised, whatever it was she did. And she buried them as a part of whatever it was she was doing. And then things went completely against her in court, with them in general, financially. Like, it was bad. And so I actually met her. She wanted to do something to break it because it obviously backfired on her, and she couldn't find them. She dug and dug. She'd buried them in her friend's pasture, and they dug and dug and couldn't find them. So Christy and I came out and just did a clearing and breaking of that work by distance, since she couldn't find the actual dolls. But anyway, I mean, things like that can backfire on you. And so just don't do work like that with hostility in your heart or with animosity. And I know when we're talking about a freezing spell, that kind of might sound counterintuitive, but just stick with eye language, right? So I'm not putting, Ben from work in the freezer because I'm trying to bring poor or bad to him. I'm bringing him in the freezer to help freeze the energy between us and create a separation. Does that make sense? You can go into stuff like this with bad intentions and have bad results. I've certainly seen it. So just be intentional about it. Be clear about it. Just don't go into work like this with a bunch of hostility in it. That's really the point. Okay. All righty. I have people messaging me off the hook right now about the Gabby Petito thing. I'm not there yet. I will be. I thought it would be fun to read again this week from the Seasons of the Witch cards. So we read 2 weeks ago with these. These are the Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle. Loving this author. So this is Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz. She has another deck called uh, the Yule Seasons of the Witch, the Yule deck, and she has a Beltane deck coming out. And I think eventually will have to have all of them. So I also showed you this last time, but this deck is gilded in red, metallic red. Is that not the coolest? I love it. Yeah. Oh, I like that, Raven. She said, you should say, may this spell not be reversed or placed upon me any curse. Nice. Good. I think it's important to remember to harm none, Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do some readings from the chat. So I'm just going to take a look here. Had a couple of requests. Tiffany said, question. Oh, Katie, love. Not a love question. Tiffany, I'm going to learn how to read one of these days. It's coming. Question, if you are able. I am one of 4 people planning a memorial celebration of life for my girlfriend Erin, who passed recently. There is disagreement on when we should aim to have it. Any thoughts? This year, during Thanksgiving or a December holiday weekend, her birthday next February. I'm most concerned of the group about the pandemic. Yeah, no kidding. It resonates with me the best, Tiffany, to wait until her birthday. Thanksgiving and December holiday weekends make sense in that you might have more people kind of coming home and coming around. But if you give people enough notice, it's not going to matter that much anyway, right? But I feel like that resonates with me the most is that you wait until her birthday weekend and just give everybody a chance to get through the end of this year first. That's what resonates with me. And then, of course, you may consider making it an outdoor event if you can. Of course, I realize that's still going to be in the winter, but that's what comes up for me. Okay. All righty. So, sorry, you guys. Sometimes the chat room makes for bad radio because I start reading and then I get lost. Okay, I know I have a reading request here. It was from Caitlin. Last week, 10/6 was her birthday. I'd love a birthday message if you have time. Caitlin, yes. Uh, and happy birthday. So, Caitlin is a Libra, which is an amazing thing to be. I am a Cancer sun, but I have a Libra moon and Libra rising. And so I feel very Libran in a lot of ways. So I always really resonate with Libra and Libras. Some of the most generous, kind, wonderful people I know are Libras. All right, Caitlin, I'm going to pull three cards because I want to get a message for right now. So let's ask three things. Let's ask what's the theme of this year? Okay. What action do you need to take or may you need to take? All right. What warnings do you need to heed? All right. Let's leave it there. Okay. So, main theme, action, warnings. All right. The main theme, oh, it's the apples. To taste, one must swallow it whole, and beneath the satin flames hides drowning waters. This reminds me a little of Snow White, this card. So, the theme, honestly, for you this year is to be aware of who has your best interest at heart and who doesn't. Be honest with yourself about it and be willing to take action on it when necessary. I feel like, Caitlin, it's going to be really important for you this next year that you may see some of your relationships, friendships, or even like allyships that you thought you had kind of fall apart and shift away from what they once were. I think there may be a real inkling there to grab a hold of those and hold on tight rather than let them go. And there's a really big reminder here that, when you let go of things that aren't working, you make room for things that are. But this just reminds me a lot of the poison apple, which this cracks me up because I actually pulled this card when I was writing the daily dish this morning with a similar message. All right. The action is the pumpkin, uncaging the spirit within, the fertile power you hold. To taste your buttery velvet upon tongue is a gift I shall cherish every day that comes. Interesting. I mean, the action card is also about strengthening relationships, strengthening ones that work for you, strengthening ones that are bringing you satisfaction. And I think this may be also about pushing forward with some new relationships as well and friendships. So, there's definitely a message there in just allowing you the opportunity to have in your life the stuff that you want. So, new friends, maybe new experiences, but The action is getting out of your comfort zone and exploring some new things, new people, new stuff. All right, warning. The warning card: rooted. May you never tear the living ritual that is magic, merged within the roots of your being, the soil of your soul. So these two cards both spoke about change quite a bit. Maybe having some people leave your life, new people coming into your life, new experiences. The warning here is to not get too ungrounded in that, right? So, paying attention to your root chakra, making sure that you are meditating, that you are doing your work, that you are getting some decent time outside will be important as you move forward so that you aren't giving yourself too many opportunities to be out of your body. Because what will happen from that is anxiety. And when you have a bunch of anxiety going on, it's hard to move forward and do some of the stuff that you want to do. That can stick your feet to the floor, right? So I am interested to see what this year brings. I think this is actually just really good stuff, Caitlin. So trust yourself. All right, Terry P. Terry, that makes me so sad. We used to have to say Terry P or Terry R because we had two Terrys, and Terry R has passed away. And so we just have Terry P now. So I guess I'll just call you Terry, huh? Speaking of people passing away, I was going to address this and I had forgotten, but I feel like I need to. I'm going to do that quickly. You guys may have seen online that we have lost our dear Angela Hartfield. Angela passed last Tuesday. We haven't posted about it on social media as a company because her family had asked for some space to grieve. Many of you have reached out to me wanting to be sure that we know and wanting to be sure that we're, know what's happening because some people did post. It looked like maybe people that were asked not within the 1-2 world, but elsewhere. And so we have said nothing, but it has been a week. We're trying to respect her family, but also respect you guys because you loved Angela. And I don't know if you know, but she has had cancer for a very long time and has fought through a ton of obstacles and come out the other side over and over again. But she transitioned, so we're very sad about it. We love her. Scott and Angie always had a really special bond. He was her producer for a long time. And I'm one of the few ones who's actually met her in person, and I did in Denver several years ago. So we love everybody. Bringing it to our attention. We understand that you guys might be a little confused about why we haven't made a statement, but that is why. So we sure do want to send a lot of love to her family and to everybody who love her because oh man, what a special person. Yeah. So I know some of you guys knew that and some of you maybe did not. But I feel like it's fair to say something at this point. I mean, of course, we want to respect her family and the space that they need as well. But okay. Laurie said puppets are not advisable if you use them to inflict harm on another person. Yeah, agreed. I mean, puppets, this is where the idea of like putting pins in dolls comes from, Yeah, agreed. However, I do have a client. I'll tell you this. I have a client who has a puppet for each one of her that represents each one of her children. And she, when one of her kids is struggling, her kids are mostly adults, and she will do things like she'll put money inside a poppet. She will put crystals. She'll do Reiki. She'll do a candle. She'll, do things to love the poppet to help support her kids when they're struggling. And I think that's really beautiful. It's really sweet. It's not about changing their will or anything like that. It's just about supporting them. So, yeah. That on that note, I think that's pretty cool. But yes, using poppets to inflict harm on other people is a terrible idea and may very well come back and kick your ass. Yeah. 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 Yes, and Laura, you are correct. When you're doing magic, yes, you should always come from the standpoint of harm none, then do what you will. Absolutely. That is the Wiccan creed. Yep. Okay. Yes, Jane, I know. We are just dang sad about it. Really, really wonderful person. Rebecca, she had cancer, honey. She just had for a long time. Yep. Oh, Jane said, I just had the same thought about Terry P and Terry R. I know, we've had a little too much loss lately, haven't we? Enough. Enough of it, everyone. We're solid. We're solid. No more. All right, Terry, I did promise you a card and then went way off on a tangent. And I apologize for that. I was going to talk about that at the first of the show and I forgot. And maybe the timing was just right now. I'm not going to worry about it, but here we go. Ooh, Terry. Intuition. You hold the answers, you know the truths. Ancient ones await behind the doors of the mind. Really psychic month for you. I would highly recommend that you explore your gifts a little bit more. I would recommend that you do some guided imagery meditation, that you start thinking about a gift that you've been really drawn to, that you really want to explore, and start working on it more. This is a psychic month for you. Very psychic month. So that's cool. We'll take it. I mean, we're in a super psychic time, as you all know. Okay. All righty. Let's see. Oh, Jane had a birthday. Let's see, Jane. Let's do the same thing. So, we're going to ask about the theme for the year, necessary action, and warnings. I don't know. Maybe that warnings card's a little ominous, but I think it's nice to know if there's something you need to know about. The theme of the year is the healer card. Listen as the medicine bleeds through her teeth, a river of mercy, blessed by Mother, seen only by those who hold her mirror. The healer card, which Jane, I think that is so apt for you because you are, living in the role of a caregiver and as a healer. So I feel like this is something that, you know, is a really powerful card for you and the theme of it this year. Now, does that mean that you're going to continue to stay living right where you are? Maybe, maybe not. That choice is yours and, still yours. However, I think it's important for you to see yourself as a healer and continue to manage your energy and the energy around you because being a caregiver is a tough gig. It can be really, really exhausting and frustrating. And so making sure that you are not just healing mama, but you're also healing yourself. And then I feel like there's some strength and some power to this that is amazing. All right. The action card is the broom. What dreams may come from what you see, make room, make way, a clearing need be. Clearing out what doesn't serve you. Financially, particularly, comes up really strong for me that you clear out any financial burdens or obligations that aren't serving you anymore, as well as energy. If I were you, I would be clearing mom's house like crazy. And I know they aren't so big on your woo woo beliefs, so you might have to be a little covert, but continuing to clear that space and make it feel more like the space you want to be in is going to be super important. And then lastly, the underworld. Hand over your known. A shift is near. Take a leap. The journey is clear. This is the warning card, right? I think this really still has to do with being a caregiver for your mom and not waiting for the other shoe to fall. Yes, she's going to pass at some point. We don't know when. You don't know when. We don't predict death because you can't, you know? But we know that things will shift with her at some point and that you will then have the space to make the plan that you need to. I feel like you need to hear that because you've been in such a holding period, not really knowing what's going to happen next, what's going to go on, what do I need to know? And it's okay for you to just settle into your situation right now and your experience right now and not always kind of have that hanging over your head, right? So I hope that helps you. I wish I could read for all of you guys. We are totally out of time and I have to get out of the way for Lisa. So you can find me over at 1 2 Listen. It is 1 2 day. So I'm going to put a link in the chat room for my sale today because I do have my 20-minute TBS is on sale and we can connect over there for a full reading. So thanks so much, you guys, for being here. You have been listening to the Katie Weaver Show here on 1 2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.